is one. He knew that Rasulullah is the last messenger. He believed in all of the messengers mentioned in the Quran. Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, Moses alayhi salam, Musa, Dawud alayhi salam, all of the prophets mentioned in the Quran. He had learned his basic creed, his aqidah. Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rasulihi wal yawmil akhir wal qadri khayri wa sharri min Allah ta'ala wal ba'thi ba'da al-maut. Sahih? He learned the basics, but he was confused who to take shahada with. Do you know why? He was speaking to me and I said, well, what are you waiting for? Take shahada, brother. And he said, okay, you know what? After I take shahada, you're not going to warn me against other Muslims, are you? I started to think, subhanAllah, what makes the brother say this? You've had to see this today? Where people want to become Muslims, but they worry about becoming Muslims because you know what happened to him? He went to a sheikh to take shahada, and the sheikh said to him, come here, now you know after you've taken shahada, don't go to that masjid, because the people up there aren't right. And then he says, well, actually, you know what, don't come to our masjid either, because our committee isn't right. And he said, go to so-and-so masjid, but the people who pray in that masjid, they're not right, but the imam's okay. But then you know what, actually, don't go to that masjid either, because you know the imam up there, his beard is not long enough. So go to so-and-so masjid. Actually, don't go there, because you know the area it's in, the masjid itself is correct, but the people around that masjid, they're not correct. The Muslims, they're not correct. So then that brother said, well, where do I go then? Where do we go? How do we face one another without judging one another? أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. No one apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is hakim. No one. No one. Rather, when we look at one another, when we see one another, we should look at one another and think, subhanallah, as a Muslim. Muslim brother, Muslim sister, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And you shouldn't pass one another without a smile on your face. What did the Prophet ﷺ say about smiling to one another? This is a sadaqah. This is a form of charity that you take out within yourself. It's a form of charity. And what does charity do? Charity takes away calamity. It gets rid of bala, bawa, waba. It gets rid of calamity upon you. Practicing these small sunnahs of the Prophet of Allah ﷺ has great effect on you. If you start to understand the reality of your existence, then let 2012 come. You'll be ready for it. You'll be ready for it. When 2012, in inverted commas, eventually happens, and it will happen, not on December the 12th or December 21st in the year 2012, no. Maybe according to scientists, I don't know, but maybe according to scientists, some event is going to take place in the solar system, and apparently they've reached the first sky, and you know they've been on the moon or something. Ajib. But a meteor or something is going to come into the earth and hit the earth, or something may happen. But believe you me, that day is not the day of Qiyamah, because we still have the emergence of Dajjal to happen. The Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, going back to those signs, the Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Mahdi alayhi salam is going to come. Nuzul al-Mahdi is going to happen. Our master Isa alayhi salam is going to come. When Isa alayhi salam comes, and he is alive on the third sky, death has not overcome him yet. He is going to come. He is going to marry. He will have children. According to the hadith in Ibn Dawood, Sahih Mutawatir hadith, he is going to marry and have children. And eventually when he dies, the Muslims will lead his Salatul Janazah, and he will be buried in Madinatul Munawwara, in Rawdatul Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, behind the Rawdatul Sharif, behind the resting place of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That area, that space has been kept empty even today. If you're lucky enough to go inside the Rawdatul Sharif, in the Hujra, the room where he's buried, you will see that behind the Rawdatul Sharif there is a marked out grave. And it says, هذا قبر المسيح عيسى بن مريم. This is the grave of the Masih, the Messiah, Isa, the son of Maryam. This is where he's going to be buried. So this is going to happen. But this time he is not going to come back as a prophet. For a prophet, it is wajib and necessary for them to come with a new message, with a risala, with a messengership. Rather, Isa alayhi salam is going to come back as one of the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He is going to lead an army. Very brief points here, we don't have enough time. My time is up, I have 5 minutes left. I don't know if it's my death or not, but he's going to come, there's going to be an army. An army is going to be forged. There's going to be the great battle that happens. The great battle that happens between the haqq and the batil, between the truth and the false. In that battle, many people will be killed. This battle is going to last for some time. According to one narration, there's going to be part of the army who is going to fight Isa alayhi salam are known as the Sufyanis, the people of Sufyan, who in their time took a strong opposition to the Ahl Bayt, to the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the descendants of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This narration can be found in Abu Dawud and Asnad of Ahmad ibn Hanbal. That is going to be part of the army who take an opposition to Isa alayhi salam. These armies who are going to fight one another see this as the last war, the last great war that is going to happen before the end of the world occurs. Isa alayhi salam is going to live on after the army, and during that battle, the false Messiah Dajjal is going to be killed by Isa alayhi salam. He is going to live on with some members of his army in a mountain retreat, and then the emergence of the true tribes of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. The true tribes of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, not the clan itself. Think about Sayyidul Muslimun. The clan of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. In the time of Zulqarnain, the one who had 2 horns, Zulqarnain, this particular clan, they used to live in an area of the Jabal Kaskas, the Kaskas mountains. They would emerge from behind these mountains and they would cause a lot of fitna. They would kill people and take people's goats and sheep and so on. People approached Zulqarnain. So Zulqarnain had a wall built around one of the tribes, which had one of the clans, which has 2 tribes in it, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, of the people of the Jabal Kaskas. That particular part of this big clan of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, the 2 tribes, they are going to emerge. And when they eventually emerge, so some of them are already here. Kaskas, Jabal Kaskas. Who are the people of the Jabal Kaskas? Look at the signs given by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that they will drink all of the waters of the earth to the extent, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated in the meaning of what he said, to the extent where the Sea of Galileo will dry up. If you watched the news some 3 or 4 months ago, the Sea of Galileo has dried up to the extent where there's not enough water in it to provide water for Palestine Sharif. Think. This Ya'juj and Ma'juj, one of their signs, and you know these signs are not going to be committed by all of them, just by some of them. One of the signs was that the people of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, they will kill people in their thousands. They will kill innocent people in their thousands. In those parts of the earth where those individuals are not able to defend themselves. What is this talking about? One of the signs of these people is that they will want to take over the whole world. They will want to rule the whole world to the extent where they will claim to be the great one himself. What is this saying to us? One of the signs of these people is that there will come a day where these people will say, now we will get rid of the concept of divinity himself because we are the great ones. And they will fire their arrows. What does an arrow resemble in today's day and time? Just think. Your university students, mashallah, Allah has given you aql.
Rockets.
And these will be fired into the skies. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to order the angels upon that day to hold onto their arrows and put the blood of fish onto these arrows and throw them back into the dunya. When these arrows come back, the blood will be seen on these arrows, and they will say, look, we have killed the divine himself now. And they will rule over the earth. And when they rule over the earth, that particular time will be the most hardest, the most gravest, full of fitan and fasad, and iman will leave people's hearts, to the extent where there will be no more believers anymore. Upon that time, Qiyamah will come. So, ayyuhal ikhwatul muslimun, we have been given these signs. There have been thousands of small signs, according to many of the fuqaha around the world. When I say fuqaha, the imams of jurisprudence, the muhaddithin, those scholars of hadith, all of them, regardless of which methodology they come from, all of them have written that all of the minor signs of Qiyamah have come and gone. Now we await the major signs, and from amongst the major signs, some have already started to appear. Ayyuhal Muslimun, supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah saves me and you from those things that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua to be saved from the fitna of Dajjal, from the fitna of the dunya, so we don't get involved in the fitna of the dunya, where Muslims only love one another, and Muslims only look at one another and feel for another Muslim what they feel for themselves. Rather, let's look at one another as human beings. Look at every other human being and think that there is khair, there is goodness in everyone. There is khair and goodness in everyone. Find that khair and that goodness in everyone and preach the truth, the haqq, about the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the risala of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants all of us a good ending with iman. Wa sallallahu wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.